Good morning, everyone, and welcome to day 4 here of the Irish Youth and Open Championships held here in the National Aquatic Centre in Blanchardstown. I'm joined this morning with India McGlynn to bring you this morning's action. There's a multitude of great events on this morning. Starting off with the women's 100 metre freestyle. India, what are you most looking forward to this morning?
Yeah, we have some great swims lined up this morning. So the 100 free, we've got Maria Gordon going in as our fastest qualifier. She had a fantastic 15 backball and 400 metre freestyle yesterday, so it does look like her freestyle is on point. We also have Nathan Whiffen going in the 400 free, Jack Castle in the 200 fly. We'll have a great race between in the 50 breaststroke for both the men and women this morning. Barry Murphy returning to the pool back in that 50 breaststroke as well. And we'll finish off today's session with the women's 800 metre free.
And the first event getting underway is the women's 100 metre freestyle. We're going the fastest heats in the morning, and then the slower heats will be in the middle session to allow these faster and more senior athletes a chance to recover for tonight's finals. But there's the lineup for heat number 22 on heat 1 of this morning. Swinburne, Salutina, Lawless, Dickens, Williams, Fabian, Winterbach, Mulholland, Kenny and Lee are your swimmers here to start off this morning's session, the women's 100 metre freestyle.
Starting here with heat number 22, our fastest qualifier is Kira Williams of the NAC. Her entry time is a 1:03.49, but it looks like lane number 2 is off to the flying start here. That's Roisin Lawless of Wexford, looking like she's nearly about half a body length in front as she comes down this first 50 metres. So that 1:03, these girls are going to be looking to go out around 29 high, mid to 30s if they want to be breaking that 1:03 barrier. Let's have a quick look at these splits as they turn at this first 50. And it is 29.06, Roisin Lawless of Wexford taking that first 50.
Yeah, Lawless had a flawless start coming down that first 50, out in the 29.0 like India said. All these girls will have aspirations of getting under that 60-second barrier, and in a few heats time we will see that, but it is Lawless pulling away from the field comfortably from the lane above her, which is Emily Dickens. So all the way into the wall, bringing up the legs. It's quite a blanket kind of finish here at the top half, but it is going to be Lawless quite comfortably, just missing that sub-60 mark, but she's going to be a 1:03 flat from Williams at a 1:03.1 and Swinburne at a 1:03.6.
Yeah, strong back end then from Ruby Swinburne, 33.11, so probably the fastest there out of the field, but it is Roisin Lawless of Wexford taking that first position, 1:03 dead, 1:03.19 as second position.
Heat number 2 this morning. Heat number 23 overall, out of 29. Fahy, Ivory, O'Connor, Doran, Kavanagh, Dempsey, Byrne, Nolte, McInerney and Childs is your field, and it looks like a great start in lane number 7. She's out, up and at it. That is Molly Nolte with a super high stroke rate and a nice breathing pattern of every sort of 4 strokes. Every 6 strokes, excuse me. She's really putting the head down, putting the hammer down this first 50, and she's going to turn probably a sub 29 point, maybe a 28. Yeah, 28.87 not coming up on your screen right now, but she's got a clear lead after what a turn that was as well. Clear lead after that first 50.
Yeah, Molly Nolte definitely having the strongest start there to 15 metres. Really nice work, but Avian Ivory of lane number 1 definitely caught a little bit of ground, but it is our clear favourite is Molly Nolte of lane 7. So she's definitely been working on some of her drills, or her skills here, her dive and her turn, pretty much leaving her with the rest of the field behind her, about a full body length behind. Our times haven't come up on your screen here, but we'll give you an indication. It's 1:00.14 from Molly Nolte, so just above that 60-second barrier.
Yep, 60.14, agonisingly close to breaking that 60-second barrier. She came in here with a 1:03, so that's a big drop for her. She'll be over the moon. And heat number 24 of 29. No swimmer in lane 4. From 0 through, it's Marks, Robson, Doyle, Collisvaca, Falls, Henry, Campbell, Began and Yelverton.
Yeah, fantastic start there from lane number 3, the NAC swimmer. So she came up at that 15 metre, pretty much about half a body length ahead of everyone else, and she seems just to be about maintaining that lead, apart from lane 0, actually, Holly Marks. She's bringing it down really, really strong, but it does look like lane number 3 is going to take this first 50 split. Give you an idea of those splits now. Lane number 3 taking a 29.26, so slightly slower than that previous heat.
Yeah, Cava comfortably, and that sort of looping straight arm on the right arm. If you look at our leader now, the right arm comes over almost straight, keeping it nice and strong with a good leg kick. But right below Cava in lane number 2, it is Kiva Doyle of Aer Lingus, known for their back end, the Aer Lingus swimmers. On top of your Brill also having a run of the mix, it's Began and Yelverton. Began looks really strong coming into this last 5 metres. Began 101.87, Doyle 101.9, and Cava with that great front end couldn't quite find out in the back end for 62.5.
Yeah, Began just really putting her head down for those last 6 or 7 metres. Kiva Doyle taking about 2 breaths within that flags, so I think she could have just taken it if she just put her head down as well. But again, 61s for those swimmers with entry times of 102s.
Logan, Ryan, Setch, Rock, Dougherty, Poutney, Walsh, Mateus and Bailey is your next heat. So these girls will all now be wanting to make finals tonight. We should be looking at maybe some sub-60 swims if these girls can post relatively good personal best times. Bottom of your screen now looks like Logan from Banbridge having a great run.
Yeah, Eliza Logan having a really strong straight arm overhand stroke. So, but it is Clara Doherty of lane 4 that takes that first 50, 29.57. So again, a little bit slower than our previous heats, but she had a strong turn there. She is giving herself a little bit of advantage as she comes down this last 25 metres, just coming into that last 25. But it is also lane number 6 is gaining a bit of ground. Niamh Putney, she's had a strong competition so far. But lane number 4 looks like she might just pip everyone to the post here. Coming down this last 50 metres, she is picking up that stroke rate. She just needs to put her head down for these last 5 metres. Don't breathe inside the flags. And she finishes first. It is Clara Doherty in lane 4, 101.49.
Yeah, Doherty was the strongest there on the back end, quite comfortably. 101.49. Poutney was coming hard at a 101.9. So PB's there, slight PB for Poutney. And we're quickly on to the next. It's the last heat before our seeded heats. Purcell, Paisley, Whitton, O'Hara, Sala, Ledgerwood, Harrington, Allende, Carroll and Mulhall is your field for this heat.
Yeah, so we have 2 international swimmers in this heat. So again, that asterisk beside their names just means they won't be able to medal in this competition, but they're still within a chance of making the final this evening. Does look like lane number 1 has the strongest start here. So that is Tallulah Paisley. She's just taking it nice and strong, but again, it's pretty much a blanket field as they come down this first 50. Lane number 3 also looking strong. That's Brogan O'Hara. So we're coming into this first 50 now. Let's have a quick look at these splits. Hamilton swimmer might just take the touch. Oh no, it's Brogan O'Hara, lane number 3, 29.31, but not too far behind her is Julie Sala, 29.35.
Yeah, only 0.2 or so separating the top 5. So this race will be decided in the back end. I like the look of lane number 5, that is Ledgerwood. She's got a strong leg kick, the green hat, the Trojan swimmer coming through. She seems to be accelerating the most with a nice breathing pattern every 4 strokes all the way into the wall. She'll be looking for a sub 60, maybe just over 60.87. Ledgerwood, Carroll 101.8, and Salah 101.8, also just 1/100th behind. Still searching for a first sub 60 swim. It was Molly Nolte has been their closest all the way back in heat number 23, 60.1. So looking for that maybe now in this next, the first of our seeded heats here. Noble, O'Shea, Muskelly, Farrell, Bailey, Grant, Ledan, O'Neill, Marriott and Kitty Prunty in lane number 9. Great start though in lane number 5. That is Emily Grant. Held her underwaters really comfortably. And now the rest of the field are going to want to hunt her down on this first 50.
Yeah, we've seen Emily Grant really produce some strong underwaters throughout this competition so far, but lane number 3 looking strong as we come into this first 50. That's Danielle Farrell, but it is going to be lane number 5, Emily Grant, taking that first 50, 28.5, not too far behind her though, just 2/100ths of a second is Danielle Farrell, so it is pretty much neck and neck. We're coming into this last 25 metres. Emily Grant looking really strong. Stroke rate is nice and long, probably a faster stroke rate from lane number 4 and lane number 3. It's pretty much going to be neck and neck coming into this last 15 metres. It's just about who can put their head down again. Last 5 metres now, girls. Don't take that breath. It could be Danielle Farrell of lane number 3. Just take the touch. It's not. It is Emily Grant, lane 5, 59.03. So our fastest female so far.
Yeah, the graphic not coming up on your screen, but I can confirm Grant was 59.0, Farrell 59.4, Bailey 59.5, Ledan 59.8 are your top 4, and your first 4 sub-60 swimmers. On to our penultimate heat: McLean, Minto, Kidney, Donegan, Trait, McElorm, Allen, Jones, Brown and Lee is your field here for the penultimate heat.
So we have 2 strong swimmers, Naomi Trait, Molly McElorm going in lane 4 and lane 5, but it does look like a strong start there from lane number 2. That's Isabel Kidney of Sunday as well. Again, she's been producing some strong underwaters this entire competition. Let's not forget lane 0 though as well, Maeve McLean. She's swimming down nice and hard, but it is lane number 4 that's really just starting to pick up the stroke rate now. Lane number 4 is Naomi Trait of UCD, known for her front crawl events. Let's have a quick look at these splits. So yeah, it is Naomi Trait, 28.51. Not too far behind her is Ellie Duncan of Larne, 28.67.
Yeah, kind of bunched up. Trait had the nicest front end, but watch out for the back end of McElorm. Excuse me. She is our 200 metre freestyle open champion, and she's really moving here on this back half. It is McElorm of the National Centre Ulster, and right above her of Terrier is Allen. It's going to be close into the wall. It looks like it's going to be McElorm though, all the way into the finish. She's going to finish on a 58.87, our first sub-59 swimmer. Allen above her, like I said, was a 59.3, and then Trait died off a wee bit for a 60.2. Well, they should all be back tonight.
You can see the strength of Molly McElorm there. She can breathe 1 and 6 coming down that last 25, so it doesn't look like she was putting herself into too much oxygen jet to produce that 58.87. So strong swim there she will be looking at for this evening swim. But we do move on to our final heat. We've got Maria Godden going in lane 4, our 400 metre freestyle winner from last night.
Yeah, Maguire, Stemp, Phelan, Godden, Conroy, Lillo, Gardner, Kennedy and O'Brick. Watch out for the underwaters of Godden. She was a 400 metre freestyle champion last night, so this a much shorter event, quarter the distance. But Godden now a little bit behind on the start. Fantastic start in lane number 3 from Phelan. But Godden has closed the gap, and I expect it'll either be Godden or right above her in 5, Conroy here, who's going to touch first at the 50 metre mark.
Yeah, we've got Godden pretty much going to turn first here. It is 28.10, so she's pretty much still sticking to that metronomic front crawl that we saw in the 400 metres. Her stroke rate has just really picked up, so breathing 1 and 2 down that first 50, but she's switching it up, breathing 1 and 6 and then 1 and 2 down this second 50, so it really does look like she's putting the head down. Again, you can see the strength of Maria Godden here, but don't forget about lane number 3, Rosie Phelan, really giving her a run for her money as they come down these last 10 metres. Rosie Phelan going in for that straight arm front crawl. She finished these last 5 metres. Same with Godden. I think it will be Godden. It is 58.08, but Rosie Phelan not too far behind, 58.35, and Grace Conroy taking that third position at 59.36.
Confirmation of results there. Godden going to be our fastest qualifier in for tonight, searching for her 4th gold of these championships in as many days. Moving on and out of the men's 400 metre freestyle. 8 lengths of the pool. Bit of a change up in tactics. We've just got the 3 heats to bring you this morning. This is our first heat. Running down the names, we've got Egan, Kedar, O'Driscoll, Cudahy, Sodaway, Nagy, Barrett, Cook, Mullen, O'Loughlin, Brophy and McCann here in heat number 1, or 13 overall, but heat 1 of this morning.
Yeah, keep an eye on Paddy Cudahy, the Kilkenny swimmer in lane number 3. So he produced a strong swim in the 1500 metres yesterday. So it is a very different event, the 400 to the 1500. So definitely going to be looking for a little bit more speed from the front end of this race. But our fastest qualifier into this heat is our new Ross swimmer in lane number 4, 4:21.1. Looks like we have an empty lane there in lane number 5. Alex Barrett not showing up for the 400 metres today. But it looks like lane number 6, lane number 3 wants to take the lead here. That is Paddy Cudahy that we just spoke about, producing that 1500 yesterday. So it looks like he might want to lead this race from the start. Again, we spoke about this yesterday, David. The 400 is kind of more about building into the race and not losing that speed throughout.
Yeah, it is. It's definitely not a sprint event. You know, you've got to bide your time, feel your way into the event. And Cudahy, you know, for such a young swimmer, only at 15 years of age, you know, he's swimming, you know, right above him, you know, Sardoi Nagy, the 20-year-old, and beside him, Aidan Cook, 19. So they've got years on him, but you know, he's sort of taking this one out and trying to kind of establish his advantage quite early. I think he's going to touch first. 101.1. Cook 101.5. O'Loughlin Brophy out there in lane 8. 102.0. So at the minute, from this 200, you just got to keep the momentum going. Begin to feel like you're really up in the tempo, especially off the third turn. Off the third turn, coming into the 200 meter mark, you know, all down that fourth length, you've got to begin to keep that momentum down. And as you get more tired, you have to think about, you know, upping the intensity to keep that same pace going.
Absolutely. So Paddy Cudahy coming in for this third 50, 33.30. So probably a little bit slower than he's going to want to go if he wants to break this 4:20 barrier. Again, his entry time is a 4:23.0. So he's going to be wanting to look on average around a 105 per 100. And with a 33 split, that's just slightly above what he's going to be looking to do. So hopefully he has a stronger back end. So this is the first 200 metre mark that he's going to be hitting on. Maybe he can pick up the pace as he comes down this second 200. But it is Paddy Cudahy still in the lead. Lane number 6. Just gaining a little bit of ground, that is Aidan Cook of Kilkenny also.
Yep, Cudahy through first. He split a 33.1 for a 2.78. Cook also with a 33.3, 2.08.2, and Mullen 2.9. So going to be tight, but it looks, trying to eyeball it ever so slightly, Aidan Cook looks to be slowly picking up the tempo. From where I'm sat, yeah, top of your screen, black hat. Cudahy with a slightly higher stroke rate, more of a swinging kind of stroke. But in the middle as well, in the number 4, Sardoi Nagy is kind of creeping into the equation here as well.
We do, and Cillian O'Loughlin Brophy also out in lane number 8, the cool mind swimmer. He has a much slower stroke rate comparison to the rest of the field, so it looks like he might be either conserving a little bit of energy, or that might just be his freestyle stroke when it comes to his 400, but he does look like he's gaining just that little bit of ground as he comes down to this 300 metre mark. Really strong on that right arm, and then following through with the left, keeping the head down nice and low as he breathes. It might look like he might just come up and take the second position here as they turn into the 300 metre mark. It is now a change in position. Aidan Cook taking that first position, and Cillian O'Loughlin Brophy out in lane 8 taking the second position.
Yeah, Cudahy can't hang with the pace, maybe out a bit too quick. O'Loughlin Brophy and Cook seem to have broken the field, to your point. O'Loughlin Brophy swimming almost a perfectly paced and timed race at the moment. So you said that lovely slower kind of stroke rate coming here. I'd like to see the legs come in a wee bit more. O'Loughlin Brophy, he's a 4:24 on his entry time. He should be well below that here. But here we go. He's breathing to the field, O'Loughlin Brophy. He's got a nice buffer, almost a second on Aidan Cook. Yeah, it's going to be O'Loughlin Brophy, and then the fight for third is down there in the middle between Sardoi Nagy and Paddy Cudahy. He's trying to grit his teeth and get in there for a good time as well. But it is O'Loughlin Brophy all the way into the finish. Absolutely no doubts. He swam the perfect race there in heat number 1 of this men's 400 metre freestyle, and he's in on a 4:16.39 from Cook, a 4:18.6, and Cudahy did come back well for 4:20.73, 32.6, back 50 for him.
That was a very strong swim there from Cillian O'Loughlin Brophy, coming in at a 4:16.39, so that is an 8-second PB from his entry time. Again, he was just the faster swimmer when it was coming to that last 200 metres. Majority of the field holding those 33 splits, but Cillian O'Loughlin Brophy's last 2 splits were a 32.1 and a 30.98, so just strong back end there from Cillian.
Yeah, super job. And heat number 2 this morning, or 14 total. Cousins, Eatwell, Rinn, Bailey, Fleming, Chobanian, Moran, McCarthy, Horgan and Hussam of Hamilton. Part of a strong Hamilton contingent. And then before Jack Fleming, Lisburn swimmer, trains out in Loughborough. He's a 4:03.1 is his best time. And he's going to have aspirations of dipping below that 4-minute barrier for sure.
Yeah, we have a much stronger pace in this 400 metres, so we've gone from 4:20s right down to 4:03. Again, Jack Fleming, our fastest qualifier from Lisburn City, so he's going to be looking to go around 59 mids, 59 high, just above that 6-minute mark, 60-second mark, if he's going to want to break the 4-minute mark. So let's just have a quick look at these first 50 splits, and we have Evan Bailey taking it really strong, 26.14 for that first 50 metres.
Yeah, Evan Bailey absolutely flying, 26.14. He's completely broken the rest of the field already doors, so wondering if that was kind of a tactic this morning. Never seen Bailey race the 400, seen him race 100 fly, 100 free, 200 free. You saw him here at these championships in those events, but the minute he's went 26.1, but he's dropped the whole way back to a 30.9, so that makes me think that he wanted to go out hard, kind of break the field, and then slow up a bit. His rate has absolutely plummeted, but he's got that lovely long stroke. He's holding the arms, the hands out in front, waiting for the right time to pull, so lovely low head position, but the rest of the field shouldn't be too disheartened because his rate has dropped, and Fleming has a strong back end, as does Chobani and the Czech swimmer. So 150 metres, it is Bailey, the junior stud, coming in really, really strong. 31.9, so slightly slower than Chobanian and Fleming. But he's going to take a comfortable lead here into this first 200 metres. Swimming at the European Under-23 Championships is Bailey in a couple of weeks' time. I think maybe only 2 weeks' time from now. So he's not rested for this at all. He'll be focusing on that, similar to the likes of Corby and Godden. Summer share here, so yeah, they're closing the gap on him. Chobanian was a 31.0 there from Fleming, so but Bailey's still holding that advantage. Strong turns and a low leg kick.
Yeah, I do love watching Evan Bailey swim. He's got this really nice long front crawl stroke. You can see from that front stroke there, so just at the top, he can just literally grip that water and pull his body past that hand position. Really strong, and you can see he's probably not swimming faster than the rest of the field, but his turns are keeping him in the lead. But Chobanian really giving it something now as he comes into that 250 metre mark. So 31.68 and 31.45. Not too much of a difference between the two swimmers now.
Yeah, real exhibition there in the underwater kick from Bailey. You know, he's doing 2 or 3 kicks off the wall, but they're not 2 or 3 small kicks, they're 2 or 3 large kicks, and he seems to pull away each turn. So Chobanian and Fleming are closing now the gap as we predicted, but Bailey is really coasting here through the field. See, underwater, look how much he pulled away there in that underwater. That's crucial, that's key. The fact he can do that. Turn's not as relevant usually on a 400 metre freestyle, but in a circumstance where you can make them work for you, use your strength, your strength to your advantage, which Bailey is doing. Not normally a 400 swimmer, but showing he does have that fitness to be able to swim. But Chobanian now really upping the effort in lane number 5. Fleming needs to up that rate if he wants to have a chance to touch anywhere but third in this, the penultimate heat.
Yeah, we've got Evan Bailey again showing his power on those underwaters. Literally only taking about 4 or 5 kicks, but still nearly coming up at about the 12.5 metre mark. He's been so consistent with his 50 splits. 30.9, 31.9, 31.9, 31.5, 31.4, 31.8. So literally like a metronome when it comes to that front crawl. But he does look like he's just giving it a little bit more effort as he comes down these last 15 metres. So he's going to be above that entry time, but he is going to come in comfortably in a 4:06.32. Doesn't look like it's taken too much out of him there. It's Chobanian taking the second position, 4:06.70, and Jack Fleming in lane 4 taking the third position, 4:10.39.
Yeah, 31's the whole way. Bailey just chilling, not really too much. Sprinted at the end there, he didn't want to lose, did he? So doesn't matter if it's a heat. You never want to lose a heat when you're winning. Billy, Chobanian and Fleming, they'll all have more for tonight should they all swim the final. The final heat now, we've got Nathan Whiffen, our champion in the 800 metre freestyle and 1500 metre freestyle. This almost a sprint for him. There's our 9 swimmers: Connolly, Bulger, Fahy, Talba, Whiffen, Flynn, Colgan, Edgar, Cassidy and Harvey. Our 10 swimmers in this one. Whiffen, don't expect fireworks this morning. Expect more of a chilled heat.
Now this is the first swim that Nathan's going to do where it's not heat to cloud winner, so I'd say he's going to take it out just a little bit easier. He doesn't have to produce a strong swim this morning, but that underwater kick from the start from Nathan Whiffen looks like he's actually giving it a little bit of effort as he comes down this first 50. He's already achieved that world consideration time in the 800 metre freestyle on the first day of this competition, was just outside when it came to the 1500 metre free, so let's see what he can produce in the 400 metre free today.
Yeah, I thought he was going to maybe take it a little bit easier and save himself for the final, but I don't think it really looks like that. He's out in a 27.3, so you sort of know by the jerkiness of the stroke and the rate. And Nathan has a lovely low, stroke. The hands don't come too far over the surface of the water. They stay nice and low. Nice high elbow stroke, but right above him, giving it to him, is Flynn as well. So there'll be a wee bit of a battle on here. They're out in a 57.2 from a 57.5. Whiffen with a much better turn. So he's going to want to be holding, in and around 29 highs. 29 mid to highs would be really good for him. So expect him to pull away from the field. He's got a considerably faster entry time than Flynn. Flynn in a 4.03. He'll be searching for that first sub 4 minutes, I'm sure. But Whiffen now to 150 metres. He's a 30.4. He's dropped off slightly for a 127.6. So keep an eye how far under for each 50, how far under he is, under 30 or under the zeros on his overall time. That'll give you an indication as to how close he is to over or under that 4 minute barrier. So coming up here to the 200 metre mark, he should be a 158 or so. So the more he's under that zeros at this side, at this turn, the more likely he is to go sub 4 minutes. 157.5 for a 29.9 halfway.
Yeah, he's definitely going back to his circle swimming, so swimming down the left-hand side of the lane rope and back on the opposite side when he comes back down, giving it a little bit more of a kick down as he comes down this second 200 metres. He's lovely and low when it comes to that breath, so pretty much only half of his mouth coming out of the water. We've seen a nice improvement on Nathan's stroke and his skills since he's moving to Loughborough, haven't we, David?
Yeah, he has, just like his brother Daniel. They've came on in leaps and bounds over the last sort of 12 months or so.
Yeah, so still sticking pretty consistent with those splits again. So we had Nathan turning on a 30.1. So again, just running down through the split so far, we had 27.3, 29.8, 30.4, 29.9, 30.1. So probably just going to turn just below that 3 minute mark as he comes down this last 100. We're going to see if he's going to produce anything special on this last 100, or is he going to take it easy at 2:57.91. So again, 30.2 for that 650.
I am looking for the leg kick here from Whiffen. The legs should begin to really up, and he's pulled away comfortably from Flynn above him. Breathing to ourselves here in the commentary box, and he's entering a 3:54.65. So we need to keep an eye on this split. Indy has been remembering the splits, and he's a 30.6, so he's going to be roughly maybe a 3:58. Anything would be a good swim from here.
Michael Flynn really starting to pick up the pace. He's in second position there. The Wexford swimmer, 32.2 was his 50 split, and we also have the Hamilton swimmer going there, Talba, in lane number 3 as well. So they're going to look like they're going to be our top 3 positions in this final heat of the 400. But it is Nathan Whiffen coming into the last 5 meters now. Let's have a quick look at that finish time just below the 4 minute mark. 3:58.43, finishing off with a 29.88. So pretty consistent splits there for Nathan throughout. And our second position goes to Michael Flynn in lane number 5, 4:06.26. Tolba taking that third position in a 4:08.41. So only one swimmer just a little bit faster in heat number 14. So you can see those top 3 boys there are definitely going to make a final this evening.
Yeah, definitely. Just as we wait for the remaining swimmers to finish in this, the final heat of the men's 400 metre freestyle. Whiffen, a big lead for tonight's final. There's confirmation there. Whiffen, Flynn, Tolba. Hamilton getting in on the action. The 4:08.4 there for Tolba.
So we're moving on to a change of event. We've got the women's 200 metre butterfly. We've got 5 heats this morning of the women's 200 metre fly. Sharon Semchi taking the fastest qualifier. She'll go in heat number 5, lane 4. She's at an entry time of 2:20.09. So we saw her produce a nice time, a 1:05 in the 100 metre butterfly 2 days ago. But we'll start off with heat number 1. Your names are up on screens. We've got Friel in lane 2, Ramsey lane 3, Hill in lane 4, Harmon in 5, and Barry in lane number 6.
Tuna fly, somewhat of a grueling event.
Brilliant event.
What's that?
Brilliant event.
Oh, brilliant to watch. But I'm sure brilliant to swim whenever you're doing well, but I'm sure when you're hurting, it's not so much fun.
Yeah, so the 200 fly, these girls are going to want to settle into a breathing pattern pretty early on. So basically when it comes to the fly, you can get into quite serious oxygen depth just because of the stroke itself. So you want to limit that as much as you can by keeping a good breathing pattern from the start. So you'll see some swimmers taking a breath every 1 stroke, some sticking to the 1 and 2. Looks like we've got a lovely long glide from lane number 3 here, so conserving a little bit of energy as she comes down this first 50. Let's have a quick look at the splits. 37.21 for Nisha Ramsey in lane number 3. Again, they're going to want to use those underwaters as well before they come up. And it is lane number 6, had a very strong underwater there, Rachel Barry, looking like she's going to take the lead as they come down this second 50.
I suppose, India, this was one of your main events when you swam, so how important is it that actually you have to be aware of not going too far underwater off this first or second turn because of that oxygen depth for that last 100? If you go too far off a turn, you know, you'll tire yourself out too much for the back end of the race. How much does that come into play, especially for these junior swimmers only 15, 16 years of age?
Yeah, they're not going to want to put themselves into too much oxygen debt off the turns, especially if they haven't practiced it, they haven't got the experience of kind of trying to stay under for about 10 to 12 metres off each turn. So we've got Emily Hill taking that first position, 1:21.04. So again, the most important thing when it does come to this fly is making sure that your skills are on point, so you are finding that breathing pattern, but also coming off the wall and making sure you're getting back up to that speed. So you'll see a lot of swimmers, because the 200 fly is a grueling event, they'll come straight up out of those underwaters and go straight for a breath, which completely slows them down because of that resistance hitting their chest. So these swimmers are going to want to come into the turn, nail their turn again, however many kicks they can do under the water, but they're going to want to take a full stroke before they go into that breath just to try and get back up that speed again.
Yeah, you have to be immensely fit to do this event, trust me. So lane number 4, it looks like it's Emily Hill, our fastest qualifier for this, the first heat. The Ballymena swimmer looks to be taking the lead as the PM begins to kick in now. 2:09.3 for Hill. Ramsey 2:09.9, slightly behind Ramsey. Slightly gliding a little bit more. The swimmer in lane number 3, the Cool Mine swimmer. So this is where it's really going to hurt. You know, and your body will want to go up and down instead of forwards. So really got to focus on keeping that chin nice and low as you breathe, and not just jump, like India said, reach up for a breath and let your hips drop. You got to keep everything low, but the lats will be burning. You've got to really dig deep, keep your momentum, keep your timing. It's going to be very tight into the wall here between Hill and Ramsey. It's going to be who has the touch, who finishes on a full stroke. They're going to get under 3 minutes. It is. Oh, it's Ramsey in lane number 3. 2:56.85, just 3/100ths of a second from Hill in a 2:56.88. So that was a grueling finish, but two of the swimmers just sort of slightly under their best times there. Good 256.
Yeah, it does look like it hurts down that last 15 metres when it comes to the 200 fly. Nisha Ramsey really coming back strong on that last 50 to go 46.95. I think definitely with her stroke, so you'll see on a butterfly stroke, it really is 2 kicks per stroke, and I think she was starting to lose that a little bit on that last 50, so if she can work on that on the last 50 and keep that leg kick, keep that undulation, I think she'll be bringing that time down significantly soon. But we're going to move on to heat number 2. We've got Ivory in 0, O'Loughlin Brophy in 1, Matthias in 2, McQuillan in 3, Podestova in 4, Nita in 5, McKeown in 6, Doherty in 7, Nolan in 8, and Graham in lane number 9.
Yeah, so good bit of dropping time here. Expect probably about 10 to 15 seconds faster in this, the second heat of 5. The minute after 25 or so meters are all pretty tight, but taking the slight advantage is Podestova, representing the Czech Republic here at this, the Irish Summer Nationals. Podestova, and then right down there in lane number 1 as well, O'Loughlin Brophy, having a decent swim too.
Yeah, I'm liking the look of Podestova's stroke. Lane number 1, she's got an interesting stroke. She doesn't really put her head down in between her arms, so she stays looking forward throughout the entire butterfly stroke. So if she just put her head down just a little bit more, she'd be able to really reach out on that fly stroke. She's got a good undulation at the back, but it does look like lane number 5 is giving it a little bit more coming down this second 50. Looks like a lot of these girls are going to be tight enough coming down this first 100. Lane number 5 not really using that second kick either. But again, she's gliding on this first 100.
Yeah, Nita coming into it really, really well. Just fatigue will begin to set in for these swimmers at this age. In this 200 fly, it's you got to be very strong and powerful to be able to do this event efficiently. So these swimmers swimming this event, it's very tough compared to the other strokes. They will die off a lot more, you know, because they don't have the strength, they don't maybe have the fitness required yet to do it really, really technically efficiently. But it's great practice, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. It's a great event if you want to improve on your endurance. There's a lot of fly work needed in the pool, but I'm really interested in the shoulder mobility of lane number 6 there. She's really getting her arms out really high. Arms are completely straight. She springs her arms over. It is actually very impressive, but usually what you will see on a butterfly stroke is that you lead with the baby finger, so the back of your hand leads on that butterfly stroke, and that keeps your arms nice and close to the water, so less resistance coming up out of the water and staying nice and low. That's why we look at that Michael Phelps breath as well, keeping the chin pretty much breaking the surface of the water. But just coming back to the pool now, it looks like lane number 5 and lane number 4 are going to have a strong battle as they come down this last 50 metres. Again, David spoke about it earlier, this is when it's really going to start to hurt. Lane number 4 really just pushing themselves now. That's Podestova, the Czech swimmer. So her entry time is a 2:47.79. Looks like she's going to break that if she can just keep this pace going down this last 12 and a half. Still looking strong with that breathing pattern as well, sticking with the 1 and 2. She hasn't fatigued too much when it comes to the lungs. Let's see if she can put her head down. Last couple of strokes, looked like about a 2:45. I just think it was a soft touch there on the wall. Yes, it was 2:45.27 for Podestova in lane 4.
Yeah, good swim, 2:45.2. Came back really, really well. Seemed to accelerate on the rest of the field. Podestova, very, very mature swim for the 24-year-old there. 2:45.27. Comfortably in to tonight's final, you would imagine.
So that is your names for heat number 3 just up on screen. So we've got Jess in 0, Salai in 1, Bailey in 2, Mulholland in 3, O'Shea in 4, Malloy in 5, Lulu in 6, Marriage in 7, McCabe in 8, and Highland in lane number 9.
Your name Highland, you must be a good 200 fly swimmer. Obviously, Brendan Highland recently retired, the Irish record holder in this event for the men's side, Tokyo Olympian, an all-round great guy. But here we go, in the middle of the pool. Very hard to call at the moment. Looks like a bit of a step up in quality though here, India, in terms of technique.
Yeah, I'm liking the look of lane number 2 there. She's looking really strong as she comes down this first 50. It looks quite comfortable, looks quite cruisy. It looks like lane number 4 might just take the touch. No, it is lane number 2. Ava Bailey, 31.7. So again, you spoke about it earlier, David. You don't want to be going out too hard on the 200 fly. It is about kind of settling into that pattern from the first 50, but it is that kind of cruising speed that you're looking for. Again, lane number 4 looking very strong again with that breathing pattern. Breathing 1 and 2. That's Hannah O'Shea of Dolphin. Little bit too much height, I think, out of the water as she comes up for that breath. She can definitely just try and focus on shooting that head forward, but she's still looking really strong in regards to technique. Really good undulation as well. You can see how high her hips come at the back of that 100 flight. So let's have a quick look at her splits. 107.96, that is the fastest nearly by 10 seconds in comparison to the previous 2 heats.
Yeah, she looks really, really nice. Just as India said, you see those hips coming out of the water, that's showing that you're swimming nice and high in the water. You're not having unnecessary drag, you're not having your hips, legs, knees dragging under the water, under your body. Just keep your hips really high, that's less drag. The water will just flow right underneath your body, your torso, and you will go quicker. That's swimming in a nutshell, really. But O'Shea at the minute, the Dolphin swimmer, they're having a fantastic meet. Coach McCarthy will be over the moon. She turns in a 1:45.36. Hannah O'Shea, a 37.4 split, considerably better than the rest of the field. Now, this is a tough part. This is where you got to keep your breath nice and low. Like India said, if you ever go and watch Michael Phelps, that nice low breath he has, similar to the world record holder on the men's side, Christoph Milak, will also do that. So she looks to be almost extending her advantage here. Is O'Shea, the Dolphin swimmer, and 2 lanes above her. In lane number 6, Lilo of Sunday's Well, I think it is going really, really well as well. But here we go, 2:23.77 for O'Shea, the fastest by some margin, some 20 odd seconds from the previous heat. Lilo, 2:28.0, and Malloy in a 2:30.2, excuse me. Hang on, so a big drop in time and quality there, India, from the previous heat.
Yeah, O'Shea just taking that last breath into the wall, so just slightly above her entry time. 2:22 was her entry time, 2:23 she produced there. But you can see she's a very experienced 200 metre flyer. She kept her breathing pattern, especially down that last 50. She was breathing 1 and 1 and then 1 and 2, and keeping that rhythm throughout until that last 25, where she's breathing 1 and 2. So yeah, no, fantastic swim there from Hannah O'Shea. It looks like she will give herself a position in tonight's final. But just running down through heat number 4, the list of names on screen there, we've got Lannon in 0, Kelly in 1, Edgar in 2, McCabery in 3, Simmons in 4, Jameson in 5, Poynton in 6, Hand in 7, Winterback in 8, and Dorgan in lane number 9. Yeah,
so penultimate heat here, heat 4 and 5, all the 200 metre butterfly heats going this morning. So for those of you just joining us for the week, we're having the faster heats. There's 3 sessions a day. The faster heats will be swum this morning, and then the slower half heats will be swum in a new middle session, which gives the chance to be more entries, and it gives the senior swimmers a chance to sort of recover and rest for tonight's finals. So Tony Jameson out in a 32.1 for McCabery in a 32.4. Jameson seemed to have a fantastic turn there, India.
Yeah, we saw it from Tony Jameson yesterday. She can really give herself a good bit of lead off the turn, so she's working on those skills. Really strong on this breathing rhythm again, so breathing 1 and 2, but it does look like lane number 3 isn't letting her get away too easy. That's Hannah McCabery, so it looks like McCabery is just swimming slightly faster, and Jameson just has slightly faster skills, so turns and dives. So again, we're coming into this first 100 metre mark. We've got a 109.23, so slightly slower than our previous heat of a 108, but still looking strong. 37.09 Tony Jameson, 38.07 Hannah McCabery, and again Tony Jameson just giving it that extra kick under the water, so clearing herself about 3/4 of a body length ahead as they come into this second 100. Still looking strong with that stroke, still very low to the water. Nice rotation through the arms. Hasn't really used the undulation too much. Maybe she's saving it for that last 50, but her kick is still quite close to the surface of the water. You can see that hamstring strength. She's able to keep it quite nice and close to the water. A little bit too much up and down action coming now from lane number 3. Looks like it might just be hurting a little bit for Hannah McCabery. And it's still Tony Jameson out in front, 39.41. So staying pretty consistent with those splits as well.
Yeah, she's led pretty much from the first stroke in the penultimate heat. The Lisburn swimmer, Coach Stan Shepherd and Coach David Strongs at Lisburn, having a great job with the Lisburn swimmers, but 2 below her. In lane number 3, McCabery of Lurgan looks to be trying to up that rate. I don't think she's going to have enough to get the touch. And it is going to be Tony Jameson of Lisburn. It's going to be a sub 230. Question is, how far under will she be? 229.39 for Tony Jameson. Hannah McCaberry touches second for Lurgan in a 230.66. Just missing out on that sub 230 margin that I'm sure she'll be searching for tonight.
Yeah, so quite a bit above their entry times there. I don't know whether they're just trying to take it a little bit easier. There is only 5 heats of the women's 200-meter fly, so they might all pretty much be guaranteed a final for this evening's swim, so might be saving themselves just a little bit. But Tony Jameson, her entry time was a 2:26, swimming in at a 2:29 to finish off heat number 4. But we move on to our final heat number 5. Our names should just come up on screen now. So we've got Fierick in lane 0, Molkova in lane number 1, Kaislova in 2, Kelly in 3, Semchi in lane number 4, Bailey in 5, Bentley in 6, Fain in 7, Lyons in 8, and McGrath taking lane number 9.
An interesting head position there on the start for lane number 5, which is Bailey. So she sort of arched her neck forwards, looking out of the pool when the starter said take your mark. So you want to try and keep that neck nice and relaxed on the start. You don't want to be having any unnecessary tension in your neck at all on that start. So she's looking okay down this first 50. But India mentioned Semchi was the one to watch before the session started, and she's been proven right. At this point, 31.3. Semchi leads comfortably, lovely underwater. Sunday's well swimmer, coached by Rich Cassidy down in Cork, doing a great job there. They're having a super meet as well, they always do. But here we go, Semchi, nice low head position. And how important is it here to stay relaxed and be at this part of the 200 fly?
Yeah, the worst thing you can do is tense up for the first 100 meters. Well, tense up at all in the 200 fly. So the first 100, it is just about kind of finding that rhythm and being able to maintain. Now, for myself in the 200 fly, I was definitely someone that liked to hang off someone else's shoulder and then really kick down on the second 100. Some of these swimmers might have different tactics. Sharon Semchi turning in a 108.7. So just to give you an idea, her prelim swim for the 100 meter fly yesterday was a 105. So she's not too high above that, just 3 seconds above her 100 meter fly time. So maybe she is more of a 200 meter fly swimmer, so able to kind of keep that easy speed as she comes down that first 100. She's still looking really strong coming down this third 50, hasn't changed up her breathing pattern at all. So you can see the fitness there in Semchi as she comes down. Let's just have a quick look at those splits. We do have lane number 5 taking the second position. Lane number 5 is Ava Bailey of Ballymena. Looking strong, still pretty much staying on her shoulder. Sharon still 37.45. That's a very strong split. She looks like she's going to be a strong 200 fly swimmer in the future. So let's see if she can bring it home. Let's hope she doesn't tie up at all coming down this last 25.
Yeah, Semchi, a 23-year-old from Cork, really trying to extend her advantage. Billy, the Ballymena swimmer, trying to live with her, but she's not going to be able to. And there's a clear 1, 2, 3 in this race. It's Semchi from Bailey, from Kelly, New all swimmer coached by Fran Ronan. But it is Semchi. She's going to be above her entry time, but she's safely through to tonight's final. 2:24.76. Bailey 2:27.7, and Kelly on a 2:29.8. So great swimming there on the last heat of the women's 200 meter butterfly.
Yeah, you can see the fitness and endurance there of Semchi. She went out in a 108 and she came back in a 116, so not too much of a difference when you consider it is the 200 meter fly. I feel like she can improve just on that third 50 split and potentially coming back on that last 50 as well. But she's definitely going to be clear into the final this evening. 2:24.76, just slightly behind our heat number 3 winner Hannah O'Shea of a 2:23.77. We move on to the men's 200 meter butterfly. So heat number 1 will be swam in this afternoon session. So we still have 5 heats going in this morning session. Names should just come up on screen. We just have the confirmation of results for the 200 fly to finish, but it is heat number 2 that's going to swim first this morning. So we've got Lynch in lane 0, Fraser in 1, McGlew in 2, Ramchandani in 3, Cascante in 4, Hanley in 5, Hall in 6, Gray in 7, Eller in 8, and Patton in lane number 9.
So 5 heats again of the men's, just the same as the girls. Crazy spread of time here. We've got the Hamilton swimmer Ramchandani is in lane number 3. Hamilton having a great meet. And we're off men's tuna fly. Expect there to be slightly different techniques employed by the males as opposed to the females in this event. So the early start, it looks like maybe the Galway swimmer in lane number 2. It's McGlue has had a more of a blistering start, and closer to the top of your picture there in lanes 7 and 6 it's Gray and Hall. It's going to be hard to call who's touching first. It's Gray from a 30.4 from McGlue, the opposite side of the pool, and a 30.6. So they're going to want to settle down now into what, maybe sort of 34s, 35s.
Yeah, with their entry time there, they're going to be wanting swimming around the 34, 35 mid, I guess, if they want to be breaking that kind of 240 barrier. McGlue, they're really just finishing on a half stroke, and I think that's what's lost him a good bit of distance coming down this second 50. So pretty much hit the wall with bent elbows and wasn't able to turn nice and close or get that proper push off the wall. So lane number 7 taking a clear lead. Reese Gray of Glenalbin, turning in a 105.81. That's a strong split there, 35.33. So again, his entry time here is a 2:38.67 with a 105 split. He's going to be smashing that entry time.
Yeah, hopefully he's got the fitness to hang on, but he's going for it. He's leaving nothing. No questions are going to be left unanswered here for the Glenalbin swimmer Reese Gray. He's coming home to his third 50, really strongly breathing every single stroke. So try to keep that oxygen flowing, not opting to keep the head down at first stroke, as most of these swimmers are. They're going for every single stroke. Keep that oxygen in, so let's keep an eye on the split. He was a 35, dropped to a 39, so the pain really kicking in now. 145.7, but the rest of the field will look to hunt. There's a wee pack here in the middle. Lanes 4 and 3. That's Cascante and Ramchandani looking strong, so he's beginning to hurt now. You can see the grit in his face, the jaws beginning to tighten. He's really hurting coming down this back 15. The rest of the field are going to pass him, I think. Ramchandani, the Hamilton swimmer, they're having a fantastic meet. They're coached superbly over there in Dubai, and it is Ramchandani. He's going to overhaul Gray, and he does. 2:25.13 for a 37.0 back end. Cascante with a 2:26.1, and Gray just couldn't hang on for a 2:26.3, but it just shows you the two different ways you can swim the race. One considerably more painful than the other.
Yeah, you can see there from the split times that Gray just had a harder way back with a 40.5. Lane number 3 really just be able to maintain that pace coming back in a 37. So strong finish for the Hamilton swimmer, 2:25.13. That is a full 10 seconds faster than his entry time. So very, very good, strong swim from the Hamilton swimmer. So that is confirmation, and the next heat is up on the board. So we've got Kelly going in 0, Kelly again in 1, Hutchinson in 2, Fitzpatrick in 3, McNichol in 4, Mahoney in 5, Peng in 6, Corbett in 7, Cahill in 8, and O'Connor taking lane number 9.
It's the last heat before we get into those seeded heats, and we'll see a few faster times drop. So very quickly into a stroke there, almost 0 underwater at all. Is lane number 8, Nate Cahill of ESB. He was straight up into a stroke. It seems to have worked for him. And then again, the red hat of Lisburn sitting at the front, as it has been doing for a lot of this meet. Lewis Fitzpatrick looking nice and strong early doors. He's got a 2:28 entry time, so he's already been sub 2:30. He'll be chasing that sub 2:20. I know it seems like a big drop, but you know they've got to be ambitious, these swimmers, don't they?
They do, especially when they want to make the final for this evening. They're going to have to give it a little bit of a gutsy swim. So what you're going to look out for when it comes to the 200 fly, we spoke about it yesterday in regards to the 200 breaststroke. A lot of the drive comes from the legs. So again, butterfly does look like a front-loaded stroke, so you need a lot of shoulder strength. And you do need a lot of shoulder strength when it comes to the fly. But really where the power is coming from is the undulation. So if you look across the field here, those swimmers with less hip drive or less hip action are probably going to be the ones that are going to struggle coming down the second 100. So those that have the really high hip action can get the chest down nice and low, get the hamstrings up and the hips staying nice and high, are probably the ones that are going to lead out or like come back nice and strong on the second 100 as well. So again, just looking across the field, you can see lane number 6 undulations just starting to fatigue just a little bit, but if you turn down to lane number 2 as well, so he's going strong. He's got that nice leg drive and he is gaining a good bit of ground there. That's Jack Hutchinson's of Kingdom. So you can see he's using that leg drive well. Same with lane number 5 as well, gaining a good bit of ground on lane number 6. Again, keeping those hips high, really using that second kick down. We're going to turn on to the third 50 now. It is Aaron Peng in lane number 6, taking the turn. Jack Hutchinson not too far behind, 145.28. Mohini in lane number 5 and a 146.60. So lane number 6 just having the strongest turnout, but it does look like lane number 3 is gaining some ground here.
Yeah, Peng struggling a wee bit, gliding a wee bit more. He's out of the picture. It is going to be Hutchinson, who has a stronger back end. The Andrew swimmer as well in lane number 5. Mawini is having a great finish too. So all the way into the wall, they're not going to be sub 220. I think it's going to be just Mawini. I don't know how you're going to touch there. Wow, that was some finish. I thought Hutchinson had it in the bag, but only 5 100th in it. Mawini back in the 37.2. Hutchinson, there's confirmation now. Hutchinson 223.9, and Nate Cahill 228. Peng just died a bit, 229.0, but he would have learnt a lot there. You know, he went out a bit too quick, pushed it too hard in that third 50, the tall swimmer, but learnt a lot.
Yeah, you can see it from Mohini there. He did just have that undulation. He wasn't really anywhere in the race coming to that first 100, but because of that leg drive, he was able to bring it home strong on that second 100. But going on to the next heat, we've got David in lane at 2, we've got Ahmed in 3, Kilcoyne in 4, Wilson in 5, Fahy in 6, Lanigan in 7, Maguire in 8, and Shaw takes lane number 9.
Yeah, just the one foreign swimmer here, the Hamilton swimmer, the 16-year-old. Faris Ahmed in 3. He's entered at 2:13. Kilcoyne, the National Centre Limerick swimmer, is our fastest qualifier by some margin here. Actually, he's entered in a 2:06.74. So we're now beginning to get down around that sub 2-minute margin.
Yeah, this is where you can see the experienced flyers. So we just have Ronan Kilcoyne taking that first 50, 27.80. But watch him now as he comes up. It barely looks like he's even trying to use the legs at the back, but I can guarantee you he's really using that chest drive down to get the hips up high, but he's actually not using that much energy to get that leg drive at the back. So you can see that's just a really experienced 200-meter flyer to kind of stay looking that relaxed as he comes down this first 100. Still has that speed. You can see him breathing every one. Still staying nice and low though. Very strong stroke from Kilcoyne, turning on a 59.43. So nice to see someone break that 60-second barrier for the first 100 on this 200 fly.
Yeah, very interesting point India made there. You don't really need to use too much energy to keep going forward. If you use your body and press your chest down, that's undulation, that's speed, that's what a fish does. It moves well, fish don't really have chest, do they? But it moves its torso, whatever its body, up and down to side to go quickly. Kind of similar here what Kilcoyne is employing. Okay, so 132.8, so he's entered in a 206. Okay, so he's going to be right around 206 actually. That low head position, just 18 years of age. And beside him, Adam Wilson. I think Adam Wilson actually has a Loughborough hat on, so he trains out of Loughborough University, so he's lagging behind slightly, but Kilcoyne, really, really strong swim here. He's going to be our fastest qualifier as it stands before this last heat. Coming in, there's a 2-minute mark on the clock. He's going to be over that. He was a 33 split on the third 50. He's going to be slightly slower than that in the last 50. 34.83. Kilcoyne, 207.63. And it hasn't came up on the board, but it will. Yeah, Wilson was second there in a 211.9. From Fahy in 6 in a 2:15.2.
Yeah, strong swim there from heat number 4. So I think Kilcoyne not looking actually too phased off that 200 fly, which is quite impressive. Coming back on that 34.83. So off that kind of second last 25, there was definitely just a good bit of up and down motion. So that's when he started to bring in that leg drive, and then he started shooting back forward again. So it does look like he has a little bit more left in the tank when he goes in for his final swim this evening. I think he can bring that 34 final split right down to a 32, I'd say.
Okay, there's the lineup for the final heat. Lane number 0. Okay, quickly through the field. Lane number 0, Farron. Lane number 1, Halakovic. Lane number 2, Barrett, Moran, McAviney, Hamilton, Mason, McCarthy, Lynch, and Brody. So watch out, obviously, for Casson. He's been on electrifying form, not rested for this meet, but he's looking to post some good times. I think I have a subtle, weird feeling the 200 fly is maybe where his potential really, really lies. He's a fantastic fly swimmer.
Yeah, we saw that from Jack Casson in the Irish Open back in April, his potential in that 200-metre fly. But coming back to here, we have Brogan McAviney taking that first 50, looking really comfortable as he comes down. So breathing every 1 on that first 50 and now coming back to breathing every 2. So changing up that breathing pattern just slightly. But again, great undulation from Brogan as he comes down that first 100. We do have lane number 5 as well, just staying on his legs. That's Matthew Hamilton of Lisburn. But we're going to take lane number 4. The first 100 is 59.99. So again, another swimmer just breaking that 60-second barrier for the first 100. Again, strong breakout as well from lane 4.
Apologies to McAviney. I saw the National Centre hat and I thought it was Casson because he was so far ahead. It's been a long 4 days, folks. Give me a break. Okay, here we go. McAviney looking really, really strong. National Centre Limerick having super swims here at this competition. Their head coach, John Sharanek, obviously out in Fukuoka for the World Championship, so it is the assistant coach, Jade Murphy, taking the reins for this meet. McAviney, 133.4, very similar to what Kilcoyne was in the last heat, wasn't it, to 150, so the Lisburn swimmer as well, again, Lisburn up there, and that is Matthew Hamilton. So interesting, Hamilton looks to be charging slightly, but I think McAviney, even though he's beginning to hurt a bit into, isn't he? A little bit up and down movement there coming.
Yeah, you can see these last 15 metres are definitely starting to hurt Brogan as he finishes, but it does look like he might just take the touch. Lisburn swimmer really coming back strong though, so we'll have a look at those splits as they finished. Yes, Brogan finishing on a 35.78. Matthew Hamilton finishing with the 34.21, so definitely a stronger last 50 from the Lisburn swimmer. Did look like Brogan finished that third 50 on that half stroke, so it took him a lot of effort to try and gain that speed back off that third 50's turn. But still to come back on a 2:09.24, we will see him in this evening's swim, so a couple of things Brogan can work on coming into this evening's final.
Yeah, 2:09.4, so he's the second fastest qualifier as it stands for tonight's final. And on to the final heat of this, the men's 200 metres butterfly. Howard, Flanagan, Wright, Candle, Casson, Chubanian, Mathers, McAviney, Leggett and Wilson are your top 10 here for this final heat. So here is Casson. We no lane 3, sorry, no Candle, the Hamilton swimmer. But like I said in the previous heat, I think this is where Casson's strength truly lies. He's entered here in a 1:59.66. He's capable of much faster than that. Much faster than that. Look at that, 25 metres stop the race there. How much has he won by? So young swimmers, look at that. That is so vital to have. If you can have that in your locker to be able to come up that far ahead of 25, it is invaluable. So Casson, really lovely long stroke, 27.2. That looked very easy for him. Right, lovely underwater, it's very chilled. Going for it ever so slightly, maybe, you can kind of tell. That sort of bent arm stroke coming over the top. Nice low head position, still very young is Casson. Just 19 years of age.
Yeah, he swims very similar to Chad Nicklaus, actually, that kind of bent arm fly, but you can see that he's got that grip on the water. Like I didn't actually count his strokes now going down that first 50. I wish I did, but I'll have a look on the third 50 and the fourth 50. But he's turning really strong. First swimmer to break the first 100 underneath that 59 seconds, so 58.89, but it looks like it's just too easy for him. So coming off the dive, those underwaters look like there weren't any effort at all, same off the turn as well, but he's storming down this third 50. Again, his entry time is a 1:59.66, so he's definitely going to be our clear winner of the 200 metre fly this evening, the only swimmer to break that 2-minute mark, and still pretty much just looking nice and comfortable as he comes down this third 50, David.
Yeah, his feet, look, if you watch his feet, they're so close together, so he's not letting any water get between his legs, right, so he's reducing that drag. Look how tight his feet are together, and perfect timing in and out. He was a 31.5, so he's going to be maybe roughly around a 2:02 on this the final heat he's going to touch first. He's coming home well, though. He doesn't seem to be dying. He's a 400 medley guy. He's not going to die at all, really, unless the 200 fly. So he's coming home really, really strong here. Casson, I don't think he's going to dip under that 2-minute barrier. It looks like it's going to be around 2 minutes, 2:01. Yeah, 2:01.67. Casson, that was a very, very smooth looking 200 fly for him. He finishes near what? 10 seconds all clear of the field. Yeah, Shabanian 2:11.6. Second time we've seen Shabanian, and Mathers 2:14.1. So a big gap from Casson onwards.
That's an extremely impressive swim from Jack Casson. So just running down through his splits, going out on a 27.2, coming back on a 31, again a 31.5 on that third 50, and again a 31.2 on that fourth 50. So I've never seen someone so consistent on a 200 fly when it comes to those 50 splits. Definitely looks like he has more in the tank for this evening's swim. Again, 200 fly, it's always going to hurt, but it didn't look like he was too phased finishing off that 200 fly. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what he can produce in tonight's final.
Yeah, he's got a 400 medley background, so these sort of more harder events that people are scared of, they don't really faze him because he does train for it. So confirmation of your results. Moving on now to some sprinter events. 50-meter breaststroke for women and men. Just the one length here, the 50 breaststroke. We'll have 9 heats to bring you of the women's. And there is your first heat. Gainford, Quinn, Corkery, Buckley, Poots, Pepper, Joyce and Ennis are your first 8. All these swimmers sub 40 seconds. Yeah, so just the one length. This is the 50-meter breaststroke.
Yeah, we're going to have some nice racing tonight in the 50 breaststroke with Owen Cook and Molly Main taking the top positions for the women, but we also have Owen Corby, Ushan Cook going in the 50-meter breaststroke for men. Also Barry Murphy going in the 50-meter breaststroke. We saw him in the 50 free earlier on in the week. But returning to the pool, we've got the first heat going now. Looks like a strong start there from lane number 4, fastest off the block. And she is the first to pull out as well. But again, getting straight into their stroke is lane number 4, the Titan swimmer. That is, Terranure swimmer, that's Anna Buckley. Her entry time is a 39.1. Again, this is just a splash and dash event, David, so all they pretty much need to do is not tense up and just really give it their all down this 50 metres.
Yeah, it's called relaxed aggression. It's the key for the 50 metres. In any of the strokes, you got to keep relaxed, but you got to keep the power and the pedal down. It looks like lane number 7. It is Joyce, the shark swimmer, and may touch. No, Quinn, sorry. 38.0 out in lane 2. Grace Quinn of Trident from Corkery, from Joyce at 38 all the way there for the top 5 swimmers. There's confirmation of that first heat, the women's 50-meter breaststroke.
Yeah, so just moving on to heat number 2. The names are up on screen. So we've got Devillard in 0, Price in 1, O'Connor in 2, Kenny in 3, Coleman in 4, Thompson in 5, Verda Clova in 6, Marks in 7, O'Dwyer in 8, and Whelan in lane 9.
Yeah, that's the event. If you're watching the World Championships, Mona McSharry is safely through in this event, the women's 50-meter breaststroke, safely through to the semi-final in 12th position. She posted a very solid heat from a 30.45. Some 0.8 behind the leader, so have to up it a wee bit to get back for the final. Make sure and tune into that. But in the pool here, nobody in lane 7. Holly Marks is opting not to swim it, so very hard to call early doors. Looks like maybe, it's very hard to call, isn't it? Maybe lane 4 is looking quite strong. That is Sasha Coleman of Athlone, but it's very, very tight, even on top of your screen there as well. Lane number 8 is Emily O'Dwyer as well, looking quite strong, keeping that pace up and whipping the legs back. India talks about that wedge kick. No, it's going to be the Athlone swimmer. 37, Sasha Coleman from O'Dwyer at a 37.6 and Whelan in a 38.3.
Yeah, it's pretty much a blanket race there to the 25-metre mark, with Sasha Coleman really just digging in on that last 25. So the Athlone swimmer gaining a good bit of ground, but Emily O'Dwyer also on her shoulders, the Glenalbin swimmer, right down, only 4 separating that field. So we move on to heat number 3. We've got Murphy in 0, Gillis in 1, Gray in 2, Knight in 3, McCormick in 4, Nolan takes lane number 5, O'Shea in 6, Robinson in 7, Mahan in 8, and Mulvey in lane 9.
Yeah, no swimmer in lane number 5 here. So Middle of the pool kind of unoccupied. Off the bat, looks like lane number 4, Cara McCormick, had a solid start of Dolphins Swim Club in the pink hat. That is Coach looking really, really good. And top of your screen there in the yellow cap in lane number 6, Michelle O'Shea, also of Dolphin, looking strong. So very hard to call coming in to this last sort of 5 meters. It's almost like a blanket finish. It is, I think, going to be a Dolphin swimmer. It's going to be McCormick right in the middle.
Yeah, strong swim there from Cara McCormick of Dolphin, 36.82, so nearly a full second off her time. We're seeing some really strong breaststroke swims in the Dolphin swimmers. We had a lot of Dolphin swimmers in the 200 metre breaststroke yesterday, and then Cara and Michelle there, Dolphin swimmers, taking that third heat in the women's 50 metre breaststroke. So that's your confirmation of results there. As we move on to heat number 4, the girls is lining up behind the blocks. So quickly running down through the names of heat number 4. We've got Kieran's in lane 0. Humphreys takes lane 1, Doyle lane 2, Murphy in lane 3, Harrington in 4, Malcolm takes lane 5, Bard in 6, Henderson in 7, Marriott in 8, and Adams in lane number 9.
Yep, double Dolphin win there in the last heat. Coach McCormick will be happy. I think that's his daughter won that one. Again, no lane number 5 opting not to swim. So that's a great shot there of the National Aquatic Centre. You can see the sun is one to peer through the vents here in the transparent part of the roof. But top of your screen at the minute looks like the early leader through about 30 to 35 metres. It is lane number 6, Shannon Baird. But the minute the field is catching her, and it's going to be tough to call. Sunday's well swimmer, maybe it's Alex Harrington. Very hard to call. Top of your screen as well, lane number 8, Ashling Marriott looking very strong. It's going to be near hard to call. It is Marriott. That should come up in a wee second for you there, folks. Marriott took the first position in a 36.50 from Henderson, the lane beside her, in a 36.7, and Shannon Baird 36.76, and then a 36.87, for the third position.
So moving on to heat number 5, we have Hegarty in 0, Reid in 1, Matthias in 2, McDade in 3, Brown in 4, Tislaik in 5, Pakakova in 6, Lynch in 7, McMaster in 8, and Harrington in lane 9. And we've seen a couple of 36s produced. We have 36s across the block here in heat number 5, but it does look like a blanket start. Lane number 4 going out strong. Also lane number 6 as well. Lane number 6 is Pagakova of the Czech Republic, but again, pretty much neck and neck as we come down. Also looking at lane number 8, McMaster of ours. She's looking strong, but it pretty much can be down to this last 50 metres. Really picking up the stroke right there is lane number 6. But let's not forget about lane number 9. Lane number 1, pretty much it's going to be neck and neck. It's going to be about who can put their hands on the wall first. And it's not coming up on screen there, but it is lane number 9, Ava Harrington of the Sundays Wellsome in 36.42.
Yeah, big smile on her face there. Very happy from lane 9, the win. Rare you see that, but Harrington took the win. There's very quick confirmation there. You have to have blink and you'll miss it. But she was at 36.4. On to heat number 6, Warchall, Ibarez, Hartnett, Burge, Purcell, Lund, Doherty, McCormick, Hannon and McNamara of Lisburn going in 9, flying through these 50 metre heats this morning. No lane number 4, no Purcell.
Yeah, Jessica Purcell finally taking an event off. She seems to be doing every event in this competition so far. But it is lane number 2 that comes up first out of that 15 or out of that breakout. But lane number 7 also looking really strong, getting up to her top speed within the first couple of strokes. Also taking a nice strong position is lane number 5. That's Elaine Lund of the NAC. So it looks like lane 5, 6 and 7. Also lane number 9 going in strong. Lane number 1 catching some ground there. Ibarz. It is again going to be down neck and neck, but it might be the Sligo swimmer in lane 7. Oh, sorry, lane number 6. It is the Sligo swimmer, Clara Doherty, taking that, the first swimmer to go below that 36-second mark, 35.49. 35.67 as well for McNamara.
Yeah, quite a dominant performance there in that one. And then lane number heat number 7, we have Daly, Sardaway, Nagy, McCracken, Gardner, Kershaw, Kidney, Noble, Podestova, Fabian, and McDade. Run start of your first of your seeded heats here. So watch out for the pull out. You got to relax on that. As soon as you hit the water, you got to allow yourself to glide a wee bit, and then start the pull out, and then you're into your stroke. Count the first 2 or 3 strokes, and then build this 50. Even though it's one length, you want to feel like you're building the stroke. You don't want to spin your wheels from the start. So Sunday's well, again, Isabel Kidney, Coach Cassidy doing a great job there. But right below her in 4, it's the Hamilton swimmer, Jade Kershka, having a super back half. But the Sunday's well swimmer hanging tough. I think it's just going to be Kershka, the Hamilton swimmer. Yes, it is. 33.25. Kidney 33.83. Podestova 34.3. So time starting to drop now.
Yeah, not the best start there, not the best start from Kershaw. She was about half a body length behind the Sunday's well swimmer, so you can see her strength when actually comes to the breaststroke stroke there to take the top position there in a 33. But moving on to heat number 8, this is our penultimate heat. We've got Ivory in 0, Ryan in 1, Suarez Coalfield in 2, Aiken in 3, Main in 4, Doyle in 5, Allende in 6, Campbell in 7, Rika in 8, and O'Boyle in 9.
Always impressed by the skills of Molly Main. For such a young swimmer, she's got a comfortable lead in the prelim time, and she's a good bit ahead at the 15 to 20 metre mark. Molly Main is a comfortable, sizable lead and a nice high, but look at that head coming right up, and everything's moving forward. It's all very tight. It's not wide, it's tight. It's more that PDS stroke with that wedge kick. And here comes Main right into the finish. No questions asked. She's going to be back for the final tonight, and she touches in a 33.17, slightly over her best time of a 32.0, but safe nonetheless is Main.
Yeah, Main looks strong there. She is our fastest qualifier so far, just ahead of Jade Kershaw from the previous heat. As we move on to our final heat, so we haven't got anyone in lane 4, but we've got Alwyn Cook of Limerick going in lane number 5, so she will be our fastest qualifier, 32.89. So just quickly running down through the names: 0 is Walker, 1 is Miss Kelly, 2 is Jones, 3 Salah, 5 Cook, 6 Mayer, 7 Kinsler, 8 Clifford, and 9 Crawford.
No lane number 4 here. A lot of empty lanes in the middle, isn't there? In this, the women's 50 metre breaststroke. But these swimmers, these swimmers looking just to get back for finals tonight. There's only an open B and A final in this, the women's 50 metre breaststroke. Early doors though, it looks like number 5, Cook of Limerick. We saw her in the 200 metre breaststroke and the 100 metre breaststroke looking super strong. But right above her with a slightly faster stroke rate is Cara Maher of Terenure. She's looking super good as well. Coming into the finish, the last 5 metres, it's about who can get their hand on the wall first. It is Maher, 33.46. Cook, 33.54. And Kinsler, the foreign swimmer with the asterisk next to her name, 34.78.
Yeah, very strong swim there from the Terenure swimmer. So her entry time 34.38 and came back on a 33.46. So a full second PB for the Terenure swimmer. She'll be 3rd fastest into the final this evening. So we've got Molly Main, fastest qualifier, Jade Kershaw, 2nd fastest, and then Cara Maher taking that 3rd position into tonight's final, 33.46.
Yep, look forward to that one tonight. The 50 is always great to watch. Always very hard to call who's going to win it. And now moving on to our last individual event of this session 10 of 15 for this, the Irish Youth and Open. Youth and Senior Summer Nationals is actually the official title, 2023. Before we have a couple of relays to bring you, we had the men's 800 freestyle relay yesterday. Today we have the women's 800 metre freestyle relay. We saw Lisburn take the gold yesterday. Can the females do the same? But Heron, Kirshen, Hanley, Mulligan and Trichella of New Ross in 7.
Yes, they're into the water here. We have 5 swimmers in heat 1 of the men's 50 metre breaststroke. Looks like a strong start there from lane number 2. That was Heron. Again, good drive and good leg kick there, but it does look like lane number 6 is building a lot faster in this 50 metres, moving on to the last 50 metres. So our fastest entry time into this is a 34.49. Does look like lane number 3 is gaining a good bit of ground, so it's going to be between 3 and 6. Coming into the last couple of metres, it just looks like lane number 6 is going to take the touch. It is Oren Mulligan, 33.68, so bringing that time right down from a 34.
Good swim there. We still have lane number 7, the power athlete, Trichler, coming down. He had a best time of 1:14.19. He's at about 15 metres out. Coming into the finish now. So keep an eye on the clock for him, Al. Keep you updated. The graphics have stopped, but Paul Trichler, the 18-year-old swimmer from New Ross, he'll be coached by Fran Ronan, just down the country there. So 1:14.1 is the time we're looking for Paul Trichler. Here we go into the finish. 1:12.3, great swim. That's a good 2-second PB for Trichler of New Ross, the power athlete. Great swim from him.
Yeah, fantastic swim there from Paul, bringing 2 seconds down on his time. As we move on to heat number 2 of the men's, we've got McNamara in 0, Bowen in 1. We've got Nemnesevs in 2, McGrath in 3, Roach McHenry in 4, Garvey in 5, Delaney in 6, Doherty in 7, Biskirkas in 8, and Pretorius in 9.
Okay, heat 2 of 10. We'll have no 50-metre breaststroke heats in the middle session, so they're all going out this morning. Swimmers patiently waiting to step up on the block. So day 4, fatigue really setting in for these swimmers now, and a lot of mental character comes into it to be able to stand up and race day after day in this, the heat of this building and sort of the height of the event. But in the water we go. Who can hold their glide a bit? A very quick pull out there from lane number 4. Didn't hold his glide at all. That's Ross McHenry of Coolmine. That would have cost him. He's still quite far ahead, in the mix, but that would have cost him.
Yeah, so actually only 0.2 separating this entire field, but it does look like lane number 7 is taking this out strong. That's Ryan Doherty of Larne. Looks like he might just take the touch, but we also have a strong swim coming in from lane number 5, also lane number 2, but I think it is lane 7 that's going to just take the touch here. It is 33.07, so again, a nice 2.5 PB there from Ryan Doherty as he takes the second heat.
Yeah, good swim there. 33.0, the Lawrence swimmer, coached by Peter Hill, up at the top of the country. And Ian Garvey, the Mallow swimmer, just behind. So that's heat 2. That concludes heat 2. On to heat number 3 now. We have Flynn, O'Hagan, Holmes, Whelan, Kamara, Fox, Danienko, Hunt, Hare, and Kenny going. There's no lane number 4. What is it with these middle lanes? There's nobody in them.
Yeah, we've missed a lot of lane 4s, a lot of lane 5s today.
Nobody
not sure
fancies
why.
lane 4. Why? That's Kamara is absent from this one.
Looks like a lane 8 is absent as well, so it looks like Hare and Banger.
But you will get, at this point, where swimmers are getting more tired and maybe, they maybe want to focus on on certain events and not others. So you will see more withdrawals towards the end of a meet than at the start.
Yeah, we spoke about that earlier on in the week. It is usually day 4 that people are feeling the most mentally and physically fatigued.
What about you, India, on day 4? Are you feeling mentally or physically fatigued? Are you okay?
I am loving life here, David.
Well, I can't say the same. My voice, I'm sure you've heard my voice is croaking like a frog here, but we're hanging in and having fun. Here we go, heat number 3.
Yeah, so again, no one swimming in lane number 4. So just having a quick look at those breakouts. Really strong start there from lane number 2. We got a good bit of distance in comparison to the rest of the field. That's Holmes. But it does look like he really needs to bring those hands together on that 50-metre breaststroke if he wants to get that glide. In comparison to the person beside him, that's lane number 1, Damien O'Hagan. But it does look like it could be a pretty much blanket finish as they come down this last 10 metres. Looking really strong, really difficult to call. Maybe lane number 5 might just take the touch. It all depends on who's going to put their hands to the wall first. Lane 7, it is lane 7, Joshua Hunt, 33.54, but not separating by much. 33.61, Aaron Hare, and 33.79 for Danilenko.
Yeah, Josh Hunt was on the hunt for gold there. 33.5. Looked really good. That was tight finish at the end. That was great racing from the boys in heat number 3. We're moving on to heat number 4 now, flying through these 50 heats. We got Rusk, Krushko, Callahan, O'Brien, Fitzpatrick, Sweeney, Laszlo, Molnar, Gracie, O'Brien, and Murphy in 9. All 10 swimmers present for this one. Lane number 4, Fitzpatrick up in the stand-up before they take your mark. He had a nice entry, but an even nicer entry was lane number 5. That is Jake Sweeney. Sweeney, a popular breaststroke name in this country. He actually swims a bit like Dan Sweeney, the old Sundays Well swimmer and Irish international. But top of your picture is looking really strong out there in lane number 9. Killian Murphy flying down this 50. He's going to take it by an absolute country mile. Killian Murphy. Is he going to be sub 30? He might be. No, 30.23 for Killian Murphy. Absolutely fantastic swim.
Yeah, Killian
Sweeney
Murphy.
second.
Yeah, sorry. Killian took that race by storm, to be honest, 30 points. And interestingly, you said Sweeney looked exactly like our previous swimmer, Dan Sweeney, very similar to his stroke there in lane number 5, but he takes second position, 32.72. And we had 33 for that third position. But moving on to heat number 5, we've got Morrow in 0, Logan in 1, Macomb in 2, Sasmari in 3, French in 4, Francis in 5, Colac in 6, Hilton in 7, Vicario in 8, and Nagy in lane number 9. A slight delay at the start of this. We just have one swimmer up on the block a little bit too early there.
Yeah, so folks, there'll be a long whistle. For those who don't know, you will stop. There you go, you heard it. There'll be a long whistle, 2 breaks to it, and at the end of the long whistle, the second whistle, you get up in the block and you wait for the taker marks. Momentarily, we'll see it. And then it's lights out and action for these swimmers when the buzzer goes. So, early doors, lane number 3, Sat Mary of Sundays Well. Looked to have a strong start. Hard to call from Europe. Picture here, but when the pans round, you have a much better idea. It looks very, very tight. Lane number 4, the fast qualifier, Dominic French of Sligo, looking to have the strongest start here. And up in lane number 7 as well is Hilton as well. But it's going to be really, really tight coming into the finish. I think it's going to be the Sligo swimmer, Dominic French. Dominic French, 32.23. Hilton, lane number 7. The 2 Dominics go 1 and 2. For 32.2 and 32.4 on Sardway, Nagy and a 32.76.
Definitely starting to pick up the pace now on these 50-metre breaststrokes, 32.23. Dominic French taking the win in heat number 5. As we move on to heat number 6, we've got Woods in 0, Van Rensburg in 1, Richmond in 2, Karchenko in 3, Taggart in 4, Woolley in 5, Eiley in 6, Slagter in 7, McDowell in 8, and Lychuk takes lane number 9.
Yeah, all these swimmers now in the 32s. So they'll be looking for 31s. That'll be their goal. Tougher to drop time on the 50s. It's so much shorter. You know, you got to be technically very, very precise. Bottom of your picture, lane number 1, Van Rensburg of Trojan. Looked to have a good start. And top of your picture as well, lane number 7, Finn Ilse, looking really, really good as well. It's so hard to call, but lane 9 again having a stormer. Lychuk, Sasha Lychuk, a Dolphin swimmer, coached by Mick McCormack, and he's right in. Lychuk, 31.80. Slagter of Bangor, 32.0. And McDowell actually out in 8. So it was all up top of the pool there, and all the action was top of your pool for 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, again, still moving down through the time. Still our fastest qualifier is Killian Murphy from heat number 4 with that 30 point. We're moving down to our last of our heats before we move into our seeded heats. So quickly running down through the names, we've got Jordan in 0, O'Sullivan in 1, Mason in 2, Cowgill in 3, Maguire in 4, Streslov in 5, Pinto in 6, Fain in 7, Davy in 8, and Lannon in lane number 9. Our fastest qualifier, 32.1, but only 0.5 separating this entire field.
Yeah, the final heat before we get into the seeded heats. So looking for the spring of some of these swimmers off the block. I like the spring of lane number 5, but he's straight up, angled himself far too early upwards. So he just caught the drag. He actually has a better dive than most of the swimmers in the field, but just that entry he struggled with. It looks like the Lisburn swimmer in lane number 2, Christopher Mason, having a strong one, but right in the middle of your picture, lane number 4, Maguire, also going strong, keeping the head nice and tight. Sort of middle, top of your picture, it could be lane number 6 as well. Pinto, it's so hard to call this one. No idea. Ricky Fate, who can call it, in lane number 7. Had a storming last 5 metres to take it from Thomas Davy, actually. And then Streslov, so none of the people I actually mentioned ended up in the top 3. So that shows you how the 50s can go.
Yeah, the lads here are giving us some good races. It's really difficult to call from up here. So again, only 0.3 pretty much separating the top 3 swimmers there. Again, it's just down to getting the hands on the wall first. But we do move on to our first of our seeded heats. So 8s in 0, Harvey in 1, Cummins in 2, Mulholland in 3, Cook in 4, Kennedy in 5, Cardwell in 6, Black in 7, Walsh in 8, and Fain in 9. Fastest qualifier here is Oisin Cook. We saw him in the 200 metre breaststroke last night. Oh, he's not swimming. He is not in lane number 4. So our fastest qualifier here will be Kennedy in 5. 30.0 is his entry time.
Yeah, with no Cook in the field, it probably leaves it a wee bit open for the victory in this heat anyway. It looks like Kennedy from Galway in the middle of your picture, going really strong, and just above him is Cardwell. Lovely poppy stroke for him. Very, very hard. It looks like Cardwell making moves this last 5. Cardwell, 29.94. Good swim for him. Sub 30. He's over the moon. Look at him. He absolutely loves it. He can't believe it. That's what you love to see. That's why I love to commentate on these kind of competitions. Look at that. He's over the moon. Good lad. Coached by Curtis Coulter at Ards. First time, obviously, under 30 for him. You love to see that.
Yeah, you love to see the smiles on some of his faces as they finish their races. So really nice swim there. Move on to heat number 9. Morris in 0, Maher in 1, George in 2, Cox in 3, Corby in 4, Berryman in 5, Manley in 6, Hughes in 7, George in 8, and Regist in 9.
Watch out for the spring of Regist. Middle of your pool, Corby. I'd imagine it'll be Corby versus Berryman here. Corby had a great 2:12 last night in that 200 metre breaststroke. Watch out for him at the European Under 23 Championships. He could well be down in the 2:10, 2:09 range. But Corby in this 50 is trying to hang tough. Berryman with that strength, all that power he has. The Lawrence swimmer, Berryman coming through. I think it's going to be Corby. Just long-ish finish. Corby 29.0. Berryman 29.2. And Manley came back well for 29.7 as well.
Yeah, you can see the strength in Corby when it comes to his breaststroke. His hips literally don't move away from the surface of the water, so he's using that drive from his legs. I definitely think he has a bit more in him, but strong swim from Morgan Berryman as well, 29.29. We are moving on to our final heat here. We've got McLeod in 0, Van de Beek in 1, Vautier in 2, Dunnion in 3, Bilbao in 4, O'Connor in 5, Barry Murphy goes in lane number 6, McGinley in 7, Max McLeod in 8, and Foley in 9.
Yeah, watch out, Barry Murphy, 38 years of age. Rolling back the years, retired in 2014, making a comeback. He held the World Championship record in this event for a short time. Ireland, one of Ireland's greatest ever sprinters, and this was his event, the breaststroke. We saw him in the freestyle earlier on. He was a 23.8, he got the bronze medal, but this, the breaststroke, you can see him just with the big T on his hat. That's for Tennessee, where he went to college and swam most of his training. He's absolutely flying. Look at that twitch. It never leaves you. Let me tell you, you can take 9 years out of the water, but that twitch, that speed never ever leaves you. Barry Murphy the whole way to the wall, absolutely flying. Murphy, 28.38. Love to see it. Fantastic. My voice is gone, folks. Barry Murphy, 28.3, representing Guinness. Liam O'Connor, 29.2, and Bilbao, 29.2. Wow, Murphy rolling back the years.
Yeah, I think I was up here shaking my head for that entire 50. I couldn't believe the speed coming off Barry Murphy, literally from the first couple of strokes, 28.38. So he's the clear leader going into tonight's final by a good 0.7 of a second. 38 years of age, to have so much time off in the pool and still be able to produce speed like that. It's a fantastic swim from Barry Murphy. So So that concludes our 50-metre breaststroke for men. We move on to our final event of this morning's session. We've got the women's 15 and over 800-metre freestyle relay. We've got 2 heats in this morning's session, so it is heat declared winner. So out of these 2 heats, all teams are going to be looking to post fast times, and is just the fastest top 3 times that are going to make the podium.
Yes, we had it yesterday and Heat 1. Lisburn went 7:50. And they were the leaders by some margin in the first heat, but then Lisburn had to wait and see to see if anybody would go faster in the second heat. And I cannot remember who came second. Can you? Can't remember, folks. But the team that came second were 7:51. Was it Limerick?
Limerick,
I
yes.
think it might have been Limerick. So
It went Coolmine, Limerick, Sligo, I think, yesterday.
yes, it was, wasn't it?
Yes.
So yeah, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in this, the first heat of the women's 800 freestyle relay. 4 lengths each to make up a total of 16 lengths for this, the 4x200 meters freestyle relay. And then number 1 we have Lisburn, 2 Templemore, 3 the B team from Sundays Well, the A team right next to them from Sundays Well. In lane number 5 we have Mallow, the A team. Lane number 6 we have Mallow, the B team, and lane number 7 we have Sligo. So A and B teams here going up against each other. Lisburn again out in lane 1, one of the outside lanes in this heat, just as the men were yesterday.
Yeah, we've had Lisburn produce some fantastic relay teams. Same with Sligo, Coolmine also, but we haven't got a female Coolmine team. Larne going in the centre lanes there for heat number 2. So there's quite a few teams to look out for here. So it's 4 lengths for each of these swimmers, 200 metres, different to our 4x1 freestyle relay that ran earlier on in the week.
And we're finally ready to get started. The last of our racing here in session 10. Just 2 heats to bring you, so expect this to last around 9.5 minutes for the fast teams here. Very quick start there in lane number 5. That was the Mallow A team. Don't know if they went early, they might have just timed it perfectly. Very hard to know. But the lead here can change, a number of times. Because there's such a gap in the field, it is a longer event. It takes, like I said, 9.5 or so minutes. Things can change. Different teams will maybe front loading, putting their faster swimmers first. Different teams will be putting their faster swimmers on the back end, positions 3 and 4. So a lot of tactics come into play here, but it is Lisburn again. Who would have thought? 30.6 for Tony Jameson.
Yeah, there usually are different tactics that you can play when it comes to 200 metre freestyle. So you'd usually see maybe a stronger swimmer at the start. They might send off their slowest leg maybe third, but again, it just depends on the tactic of each individual team. A lot of the time, again, it depends down to the individual. We've spoken before about some people are leaders and some people are chasers. You probably see a lot of these swimmers that are going to post faster than their actual own PBs when it comes to the relays. Relays are always bring that extra competitive edge into swimmers because they're not just swimming for themselves, they're swimming for their teammates as well. And it always brings a fantastic atmosphere here to the NAC.
Yeah, you absolutely do feel the energy here lift. It lifts ever so slightly, and especially as this race gets to its conclusion, you'll hear parents, coaches, teammates shouting for their team to win, and post that time they need to get a gold medal here. So Sundays Well at the minute, strong swim. That's Ellen Lee for the A team there in the water, and Tony Jameson of Lisburn still in second position. And then up there in lane number 7, Sligo team, that's Danielle Farrell having a good one. So coming up to our first takeover here, swimmers have to wait until the swimmer in front of them touches before they can go. If they go early, they will get disqualified and the time will not count. So you have to time it well, manage your emotions. That all looks pretty good to me. No flyers there. Yeah, all good. Sundays Well in the lead so far. 2:12 there for Ellen Lee.
Yeah, so David calling it well, around the 9-minute mark for these swimmers. If they're going to average around a 2, well, we just saw 2:12s for those first couple of swimmers, so around a 2:15 is probably going to be the average benchmark for a lot of these swimmers here. So probably finishing this first heat around the 9-minute mark, but it is Sunday's Well, the A team in lane number 4, that is still in the lead. Not too far behind them is Lisburn. So again, we saw the male Lisburn team taking out a strong lead from the start yesterday. So they're just taking second position. So again, 2:12 was our first swim. So again, usually it's a stronger swimmer taking out that first leg. Similar enough swimmer taking this second leg as well. 200 meters, you don't want to push yourself too hard from the start. You want to go out heavy enough that it's not going to take out too much oxygen debt as you bring it down at the second 100. At the moment, not hearing too many coaches scream, so most of these swimmers must be on target for their pace. 34.77 split for Sunday's Well, 34.89 for Lisburn, so similar enough swimming speed. 35.91, slightly slower there for the Temple Oak team. They're coming in third position so far, but it does look like Sunday's Well is taking much more of a lead as they come down this second part of this 200 meter swim. We're moving down onto this third 50, so again looking really strong with these splits. 34 for both Sunday's Well and Lisburn swimmers on the last 50. Let's just have a quick look at these splits now. Again, 35.38, 35.29. So again, these girls are probably going to be averaging around the 2:13, 2:14 mark for this 200 meter. So not too unsimilar to the previous swimmer. 2:12 was our fastest time coming in.
Yeah, bit of dominance here being shown by the Sunday's Well swimmer, Kidney. Jessica Robson trying to hang tough with her, but it looks like Sligo have dropped off massively. And Templemore, Abigail Minto has come in to the mix. So it is Sunday's Well from Lisburn.
Yeah, so 4:28.10 is a 1:12 for their first swimmer, so around a 1:15 for the second swimmer. Sunday's Well, this third swimmer is really taking it hard down this first 50. I've never seen a 6-speed kick so strong on the first 50 of a 200 meters. So she's really trying to give them a good advantage here as they come onto their third leg. Again, these swimmers are not just trying to race the teams that are within their heat. This is a heat declared winner, so they're trying to just basically post the fastest time possible that they can, because we'll have a second heat of another 8 or 9 teams basically that's going to look to get onto that podium as well.
Yeah, I don't really see anybody catching Sunday's Well unless they have a weaker fourth swimmer on and they've front loaded it, but it looks like McCardle is pulling away. She has a strong leg kick. It will be interesting to see if she can hang on to that leg kick on this back half. So coming up to 500 metres here, 800 metres total is what we got to do. So the last swimmer now will be sort of getting prepared to get on the block and await the start of her leg. So Lisburn now a fair chunk behind from Templemore also. So in the next heat we have a few fast teams, the likes of Larne, Glenalvin, Limerick, Trojan, New Ross. So good few Aer Lingus, so good few teams in the next one who could post fast times as well. But she seems to keep that pace up comfortably is Beth Nolan for 6:07.31 at the 5:50 mark. The Lisburn swimmer trying to hang on, and Templemore wanting to have a bit of a sniff at Lisburn and try and get in there to second position.
Yeah, Sunday's Well still in the lead here. So David called around a 9-minute for this 4x200 for the first heat. So Sunday's Well similar, roughly around that point now. So their first swimmer going at 2:12, next swimmer going at 2:15. Our first split for our third swimmer here was a 1:08. So it looks like she's going to go above that 2:15 mark. Again, she's just coming in now. Let's have a look at her split. So it is a 6:43. As we move on to the final swimmer here for Sunday's Well, again, strong start from Sunday's Well swimmer. Lisburn taking that second position. And let's just have a quick look at who's coming in third here. That is Temple Oak in lane number 2.
Yep, huge leg kick here from Semchi. We saw her earlier in the 200-meter fly. So she's got endurance. All right, so she knows how to swim these 200 meters. She's 22 years old. She's slightly more experienced than her teammates, it looks like. So no doubt it's going to be Sunday's Well. Coach Cassidy and the gang going to be in here first after this heat. Lisburn trying to post a time as well. They can maybe see them in contention for the medals, but I fear for Lisburn as we're going to have a lot of fast swims in the next heat as well. So coming in now, approaching the 700 metre mark. Also approaching 10:30 here in the morning on day 4 of the Irish Youth and Senior Summer Nationals. Usually just called Summer Nationals amongst swimmers and coaches. But Semchi pulling away now even more. You know, so she's going to be looking to post that time. Keep those legs going in this 2-3. The 4x2, you usually see sometimes a bit of dominance in this event. If a team is consistently better amongst all 4 swimmers, they'll just be so much better overall, because added up over 9 or so minutes, that's a lot of time. Semchi coming into that last turn here, no doubt they're going to take first position. But Lisburn having a go.
Yeah, you have to commend Richard Cassidy on the Sundays Wells skills and endurance on their kick as well. Like, the Sundays Wells swimmers are doing really, really well, turning there on an 8:24.92, so 36-second split there. Pretty much just going to be around that 9-minute mark as she comes back, maybe 9:01, 9:02 to finish this first heat of the 4x200 freestyle relay for women. Semchi's still looking strong with that leg kick as she finishes off these last 50 metres. Again, Lisburn still taking second position, Templeogue in third, but it is Sunday's Well A team that's going to take this first heat. She finishes the final few strokes, and it is 9:00.90 for the Sunday's Well swimmers.
Lisburn, Templemore almost got there. McInerney was coming home like a freight train. McNamara hung on though for the second position at a 9:06.82. Templemore 9:07.73. So I doubt they'll be in the medals. Sunday's Well though just missing that sub 9 minutes at a 9 minutes 0.90. So that's the time to remember, folks. 9 minutes 0.90 for Sunday's Well A team. Still got some swimmers in the pool, just as Mallow A team finished there. We've still got lane number 6 here, which is the B team actually from Mallow, so good to see them. That club being able to have the depth to put out 2 different teams, that's always great to see. So as they're coming down now to the end, the Mallow team, the B team, good experience for these swimmers. It doesn't matter how far back they are, it's good experience to swim in a relay, what is effectively an open championships.
It keeps the fun in swimming as well, getting to do things like relays. You know, sometimes when you come in and maybe you're not having the best meet for yourself, again, you can always give that extra little edge when it comes to the relay. So even just having that bit of fun and taking a little, not less pressure off yourself, but just enjoying a race like a relay, it's always a nice addition to the swim competition. Absolutely.
The relays are, you ask any swimmer who is a part of relays, it's a really, really fun part of it. It's without relays in the swimming program, it would certainly be a much more dull affair. So 9 minutes flat 0.90, so that's the time to look out for. So that's averaging, what was that averaging roughly then for 9 minutes? I can't do quick maths in my head. 2:15?
2:15, yeah. So we had 2:12, 2:15, 2:15, and just below, though, around 2:15 again. So with those splits, it was
so
average.
Sub 2:15 is all the swimmers need to do here to pick up that gold medal. And that's the last heat, the last heat, of this session 10. And the last heat, you're going to have the lovely India McGlynn for this weekend. So she's been fantastic on the mic here all week. So here we go. Looking forward to seeing potentially what New Ross can do with Fran Ronan.
Yeah, so we've got lane number 3 taking it out strong here. That is our Larne team, but also lane number 1, Glenalbin. Again, so much can change within these 4 legs of the 4x200 metres, but we did see our Sunday's Well A team taking out a strong lead from that first leg and pretty much maintaining that speed or that distance between Lisburn and themselves throughout the first heat of the 4x2. It is Trojan that takes that first split, 30.35, but Limerick not too far behind in a 30.42. Again, David called it before. All these swimmers are going to want to average below that 2:15 mark if they want to break that 9:00.90 set by Sunday's Well in heat number 1.
Yeah, so it's going to be... They'll know exactly. They have the advantage of knowing exactly what they have to do. So, you know, we're at 2:15 is the goal. So Trojan always a strong relay contingent and a strong relay presence at Irish competitions. I know when I was younger, swimming for Lisburn way back in the day now, you know, Trojan always had a strong team. And I myself loved swimming relays like this when I grew up to a senior level racing for Bangor Swimming Club under Coach Paul Dennis, racing with the likes of Jordan Sloan, Jack McMillan, Curtis Coulter. Really great relay team we had. Great memories there. Like, these girls are all creating those same memories. Those are what leave you when you stop swimming. You know, you don't remember all the bad times, you remember all the good times with your teammates racing, setting records, winning medals, you know. So Limerick now looking to come into it. And in lane number 3 as well, Lauren, always a strong relay presence also. So this is quite tight. We need to keep an eye on the splits here, folks. We need to see what 2:15 average. We need to keep an eye. We need to be aware of that. So 2:12, so they're well under that average needed so far. All these teams are. So at the minute, Sunday's Well out of it. But a lot can change. A lot can change. Big leg kick in lane number 6 there. That's Ella Carroll of Limerick in the early stages of this heat 2. 4x2, second leg for women. Lane number 3 as well. That's Sophie Doran of Lauren. Expect Lauren to be really flirting with the medals. Coach Peter Hill will want that. So big leg kick from Doran. Interesting to see if she can hang on to that, but 2 and a free now is training to that kind of swim. New Ross right in the middle will hang tough the whole way. Trojan have dropped back slightly. They'll need to get a move on, or they will get left behind and get caught in that wash of the Limerick swimmer right above her, which is Doran coming up to the 300-metre mark.
Yeah, Limerick really taking out this first 100 by storm. Really high stroke rate, strong kick from Limerick. 32.99 for that second 50 as well. Turning on a 3:16.32. At the moment, they're definitely on form to break that 9:00.90. Let's see if they can maintain the pace for the rest of this 4x2. Again, second position is lane number 4. That is Ava Rock currently in the pool for New Ross. Strong swims from Ava Rock so far this meet. And then we have got lane number 3 in third position. That's our Lauren swimmer. Lauren definitely slowing down that stroke rate in comparison to the first 100. Looking like this third 50 is hurting just a little bit, but Limerick not seeming to fade too much. 34.47. So slightly higher than that 32 she posted on that second 50, 3:50.79.
Yeah, Lauren dropped way back. So it looks like Limerick versus New Ross. Going to be a real battle here. Limerick look to be strongly ahead. Let's keep an eye. If they want to be sub 9 minutes, sub 4:30 here is the split. And they're going to be well under 4:30. So at the minute, Limerick miles clear for gold ahead of Sunday's Well. New Ross also miles clear of Sunday's Well for the silver as it stands. But a lot can change. A lot can change at the moment. Sunday's Well in bronze medal position. But now this, the New Ross swimmer. And I think it's Kelly, Ruth Kelly for New Ross. She's going to want to chase down. She's not going to want to let Hannah O'Connor of Limerick get away from her, because all of a sudden this race, you can get left behind. You don't want to be bridging that gap too late, because you will run out of pool. Only about 350 or so metres to go. But Limerick look to be really extending their advantage now.
Yeah, exactly like David said, you don't want to be leaving it too far to actually give it a go here. Does look like Limerick is keeping that same lead. So once those third swimmers dove in, there was about 3 seconds between those two teams, Limerick and New Ross. It was still 3 seconds at that first 50. Definitely a much higher stroke rate from the New Ross swimmer. Limerick swimmer looking long and strong as she comes into this first 100. Definitely gaining a good bit more distance per stroke. Her split is a 5:29.89, so about a 106 for that first 100 for the Limerick swimmer. So again, she's going to want to come back around something similar if she wants to keep it below that 2:15 average that we were speaking about before. But they were already below that 4:30 mark that they were looking for at the second swimmer. So New Ross still going in strong, not giving up, gaining a good bit of ground coming down this third 50. So pretty much in line with her feet now. Let's see if anything can change or if any more distance can be caught coming down this last 50 metres. Again, let's have a look at those splits. Limerick 35.33. New Ross pretty much swimming the same speed, 35.17.
Yeah, they just can't seem to bridge the gap though. Limerick just have a strong advantage. The time to look for here at the split, if they want to be still ahead of Sunday's Well, is 6:45. So 6:45 is the split. So they need to be under that, which they will be. Limerick will be comfortably under it for sure. But will New Ross? So at the minute, it is Limerick are in comfortable first position to take the gold, and I think they will. But hell, I tell you, it's going to be tight for New Ross versus Sunday's Well for this last leg. They are just about clear. So this last swimmer has to have a bit of a stormer. That is Leah Bailey in the water for New Ross. In the water for Limerick, it looks like Cook. We've seen her in the breaststroke events, but having to go here at freestyle, and her freestyle doesn't look too shabby at all. Yes. But I tell you what, New Ross, they're just not really going away, but I don't know if they're going to have enough pool.
Yeah, so 2:16 split for the last Limerick swimmers to get in the pool, but again, they are 6:39 at the 600 metre mark, so it looks like they're going to be well clear of that 9:00.90. Again, New Ross 6:43.53, so their final swimmer is going to need to post faster than a 2:16.5 if they want to go below that 9:00.90 to take second position from Sunday's Well A team. But it is Limerick still storming this first 100, so their turn time is a 7:41.79, so about a 1:02 for the first 100 there. So strong swim from the Limerick swimmer. New Ross still not able to bridge that gap.
No, they're not at all. So it's all going to be about the clock. Limerick are going to win for sure. They're going to beat Sunday's Well time of 9 minutes, 0.90. But it's whether or not New Ross can get under that 9 minutes, 0.90. So we're coming into this last 50 now. It's all about the clock. Limerick are going to take the gold medal, folks. But it's whether New Ross can pip Sunday's Well to the silver.
Yeah, so this Limerick swimmer only needs a 44 to swim back on if they want to take that gold title. So I think that's well within their possession. Let's see if New Ross can break that 9:00.90. I think they will have it in here. So I think our medal positions are going to be Limerick in first, New Ross in second, and Sunday's Well A team in third. But there's still another 50 metres to go for that Limerick swimmer. Let's see how she can finish off. For the Limerick team, they will be taking gold. Just put her head down, final few metres. It's going to be an 8:50.01, and New Ross finishing second here in an 8:55.27. So yes, our podium positions are going to be Limerick A, top position, New Ross for the silver medal, and Sunday's Well A team for third position.
Yeah, it's as we thought, wasn't it? From the first 200, Limerick and New Ross sort of set the pace. Dolphin A team come home to take fourth position in the storming last 50 there for Hannah O'Shea in a 33.3 for a 9:14. So they'll take, I think, fourth spot possibly. And Trojan, who had a good first leg, just fell back and didn't have the depth to contend with the likes of your Limericks and New Rosses. So that is our first medals of day 4 decided. We have gold for Limerick in the women's 4x200 metre freestyle relay, silver to New Ross, and the bronze medal will go to Sunday's Well. So that now concludes racing. Oh, sorry, excuse me, we're still waiting on Limerick, apologies. 10:04 Limerick B team. And there's confirmation now. Aer Lingus decided not to swim that one. Confirmation, and then we actually had disqualification there from Trojan as well. They were out of the medals anyway, so not too much to worry about from their standpoint. So that concludes session 10 here at the Irish Youth and Senior Summer Nationals. So 2023. So hope you've enjoyed the commentary so far this morning. Thank you so much, India McGlynn. This is where she bows out for the week. She's been fantastic all week. It's always great to hear her insight on swimming. So thank you so much, India.
Many thanks, David. I've really enjoyed it. And best of luck for the rest of the weekend.
Yes, folks. Thank you. Thanks, India. And we'll see you later on in a few hours.